Sapphire Miriam Foundation. Right, so I am Simone Claxton, president and founder of the Sapphire Miriam Foundation, a nonprofit organization incorporated in the beautiful twin island of Trinidad and Tobago. It's another beautiful, bright Saturday morning here. I welcome each and every one of you young ladies. We thank Ricardo for his prayer and for opening us, with a good start. Thank all our partners for joining us, all our young ladies from all over the Caribbean. We want to thank our sponsor on board at the moment, the Unit Trust Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, because without our sponsors, this program would not be possible. We want to thank everyone who has contributed in any way at all possible to making this dream come true. Thank you, Aralia, for your support, for being behind the scenes. Thank you, Angel, as well. I just want to be so grateful, coming off of Donna's message last week, just, gratitude, for everything that we have in our life. Please don't take anything for granted. Yeah. I thank God for health and strength and life, most important, to be here yet another day. So, ladies, we want your faces. We want to see everyone. We have Janae and Dominica with us. What's happening there, Jane? No face, Tahiri. Come on, ladies. This is a very important session. We're going to be speaking about goals because last week we didn't get a chance to do SMART goals and setting goals and objectives. So we're going to go through that today, and then we're going to talk about peer relationships and empathy, right? We're going to be talking about how you relate to your friends, okay, and how you'd like people to relate to you. Okay, and being understanding to each other, as Ricardo says, just about sisterly love. We have Natalie in the back armors here with us. You want to say hi, Natalie?
Hi, good morning. How you guys doing?
Ladies, thanks for joining us, Natalie. We want these young ladies to interact.
Yeah, no problem.
Right. So, ladies, we need the cameras on. We need you interacting today. So, I'm going to give you a minute to get your cameras on. We're already starting late. So, Shanika, Tahiri, Mary Lee, Jane, Tarasai. Is it Pilot engaged? Hi, Clarice. All right. We have Aisha on board. I'm not seeing. Let's see. Right. So I'm gonna give you all a chance to get your cameras on before we start.
Mary Lee, Kayla, and Whitney's camera is not able to come on.
Okay. Right. Just see Hillary from Ghana supposed to be joining us soon. Oh, okay. Camille will join us as well in a bit.
Right.
Yeah, it would be really nice to have Camille on board to get her perspective on things. Right. So I want you also keep in mind, guys, that this is a safe space. So I want you to share what you have to share, talk. Even though it's been recorded, as we kind of said, certain things would not be put out onto the internet. Right. Once we realize that it's something personal that you guys are sharing, it will not be put out. So you don't have to worry anything about that. Okay. All right. So Aliana, Tahiri, Jen, ladies, we need our cameras on now. You're not gonna stop until everybody has their camera on, okay? Unless there's a valid reason, just type it in the chat or unmute your mic and let me know this is what's happening, right? Hi, Jane. How are you? You're hiding. Jane has been hiding. Charisai, what's happening? All right, ladies. So let's get cracking. Let me bring up. Right. So I'm not gonna be able to see what's happening on screens, Aralia. You have to be my eyes. Yeah. So I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna go into the SMART goals. Next. So shine bright, mastering SMART goals for your success and balance. So this comes off of the balancing your life last week that Donna spoke about and all the tips and techniques she gave us to have a fruitful and balanced life. As we all know, we would all have our challenges in life, and it's about building resilience and being able to balance life. Okay, nobody has life easy. It's all about balancing and being resilient. This thing always annoys me. Right. Right. So, welcome to the Shine Girls Empowerment Program. And today we're exploring how SMART goals can help you balance your life and achieve success in everything that you do. Okay. So, get ready to learn powerful techniques that will help you transform your dreams into reality. Right. So, why set goals? Your dreams deserve a plan. Right. So, normally we plan our day. Anybody here plans their day? Like decides, well, okay, they're gonna get up at this time. Um, they're going to maybe go to the supermarket to get something. Or they're gonna get to school, and when they come back, they have the homework to do. Could I tell us up
When I
plan?
plan my day, it never goes according to plan.
Never goes according to plan, right?
I
So
agree
that's
with
one of the
you.
things. The same thing, Aralia.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. You plan your day and it doesn't go to plan. However, that should not discourage you from having a plan, right? Because having a plan is always important. It helps you to set direction. Okay. So even sometimes you set your plan out and the day doesn't go exactly as you plan. Sometimes you achieve some things as opposed to not achieving anything at all. And remember, there are external circumstances, there are external factors that we are not in control of. So we may plan our day a particular way, but things from the outside that we don't have control of could affect our day and how it goes. So we have to always bear in mind that there are things that we don't have control of. So we don't beat up ourselves, if our day doesn't go as planned. We do what we can do because there's only so much we could do. And there are external factors, right? There may be things that maybe your parents want you to do that would influence. There may be some emergency come up, right? Maybe things the teachers want you to do. Maybe the weather didn't, go as planned, so you didn't get to do what you want to do. There's a lot of different things that could pop up, right, guys? So it's important to have a plan for your day and much less for your dreams, right? Which are even bigger than your day. Your day is just the moment, right? So if you want things to happen in the future for you and you have big dreams, you have to put a plan in place. They won't happen without a plan. Okay. If they remain a thought in your head, it just won't happen. Okay. So turn dreams into steps. So goals, this is why you're having a plan now. You're turning your dreams in your head into a step-by-step process that you'll be able to execute. So goals transform your big dreams now into concrete actions, right, that you can take every day. And they're like building blocks, okay, that help you construct the life you want. So the life you want is like a house that you're building, and each block and the cement, etc., it helps to build each day until you get the house looking like you would like it to look. Okay? A house doesn't just, magically appear. You have to put things in place. Block by block, window, doors, everything has to come together. So this is what the plan is for your dreams. You're putting steps in place. So each day you have a plan. So you would like to have the dream of maybe traveling, say to Paris, which was one of my dreams, which I fulfilled. And at the end of the day, it doesn't just happen because you have to have money for the tickets. You have to have money to spend. You have to get on a plane. Okay. You have to know about the destination. So you start planning. So you start putting a goal to save a certain amount of money each month, right? And you have a realistic timeline. So you're not going to say, well, I want to go to Paris and I want to go next week when you don't have a dollar in the bank, right? So you said, okay, well, maybe within the next 2 years, I would save this amount of money I'm working, or, my parents are giving me money, and I would put aside this percentage, and I would be able to go to Paris in the next 2 years. And then you start researching the destination, places you might, want to visit when you go there, trying to speak the language, right? And we have someone here who's lived in Paris, right, Natalie? And she could tell us all about that and all about the challenges. When you have dreams, you have to put things in place. So Natalie had a dream of studying abroad. Okay. Your dream might be to study abroad, and she studied in Paris. So she would have had to put some of things in place. Natalie, you want to tell us some of the things you had to put in place to fulfill your dream of studying abroad, to encourage these young ladies?
Hi, Simone. Sure. Well, actually, because I know I wanted to do it for a long time, I started saving. You have to be really intentional when you want something. I did research for almost like a year to figure out which schools I want to go to. And even though my dream was actually to go to the UK, I realized that wasn't attainable. So you have to set like goals that are attainable. So Paris was the next best option for me. And if I would give advice to someone who's trying to do it, some things that I didn't do is I didn't do proper research. You have to do proper research. You have to figure out, okay, I have to, especially if it's a country where the language is different, at least try to work on your language skills, try to network. What I would say, like, don't stay inside of a bubble, which I did. I was afraid to actually meet people. When you meet people, it makes things happen for you. Try to hmm, I would say, yeah, networking. Once you get where you want to be, it'll always be difficult, but having a support system and someone you can like vent to and someone that can encourage you is important as well. So yeah, that's everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Natalie. I hope that that helps encourage someone and give them the direction. Okay, if you're thinking of studying abroad or visiting, you know the steps that you have to take. You have to put a plan in place. You have to set your goals. Okay, in order to be able to achieve that. As Natalie said, she had to do her research for about a year. It didn't just happen overnight. Yeah. Anybody wants to ask any questions there?
Natalie, my question is, did you eventually interact with the people or are you still in your bubble?
Well, I actually, at the end of my stay, I met some really good people. So I had a chance to interact. And that really helped me a lot because I started going places that I wanted to do. I wanted to start going to church in France, but I didn't have anyone. So I found a friend who started inviting me to church. So yeah, it was, I eventually interacted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that, Natalie. Right. So as we said, we put in steps in place, building blocks in place to be able to achieve our dreams. And that's why we have to set the goals. So the goals now are the building blocks to achieving these dreams. So each goal takes you closer to your dreams, right? We have to avoid feeling lost, right? So without clear goals, it's easy to feel stuck and overwhelmed, right? And unsure of the direction that you're going in, right? So the goals give you a purpose and a focus. Okay. Otherwise, you feel like you're all over the place, right? If you don't have goals to keep you on track to your bigger dreams. And it helps you to find a balance as well. Setting your goals helps you create harmony between school, your friends, hobbies, family, because we're all juggling a lot, right? And everything is important to us. Okay. Nice. So guys, I want you all to feel free. This is not like a lecture. Just feel free to jump in. If you have any questions or comments, anything that you want to share, okay? Right. So meet SMART goals, which is your secret to success. Okay. If you want to have a successful life, you have to set goals, right? You can't just live from day to day directionless. Okay. And it's good to take advice because sometimes we feel that we know. And it's only when we get older we realize that we really didn't know as much as we thought we knew. Okay. That happened to me. So that's why I'm giving you that tip. So SMART goals are a powerful framework, right, that transform vague wishes into clear, achievable plans. So you have all these dreams and wishes in your mind, and you want to put them down now on paper in a clear roadmap. So your goals need to be specific, they need to be measurable, they need to be achievable, they need to be realistic, they need to be time bound. So anytime you're thinking about goal, you're not just saying, well, I just want to save money, right? What are you saving the money for? How much money you're saving, right? And then over what time frame. So I would like to save $20 per week, right, to purchase a makeup kit, right? by December 2025. So you have a time frame by which you want to achieve that dream, December 2025. You know exactly what you're purchasing with it and how much money you're saving per week, right? Or on a monthly basis, etc. So you have to set very specific goals. Okay? Right. So S is for specific. It says get clear on what you want. What do you want? What exactly do I want to achieve? Okay. So too vague means I want to be better at school, right? I want to be better at school. What does that mean? If you are specific, you say, I want to improve my math grade. So you know specifically that you're working on math and improving your grade there. Specific goals gives you a clear target to aim for, and it removes any confusion that's going on in your mind. Okay? Right. So M means measurable. So you're tracking your progress. So it helps you to define success. So how will you know when you have reached your goal? Okay? It has to be measurable. If it's not measurable, you wouldn't know whether you achieved the goal or not. Right? So you create concrete criteria that show your progress. Add numbers. So for example, raise my math grade from 75% to 85% instead of just doing better at math. So first you want to do better at math. But how do you know whether you do better or not? Say every, term you're accustomed getting, say 75%, 76%. And now you decide, oh, well, I want to raise my math grade. But what do you want to raise it by? You need to be able to measure your math grade to understand, well, yes, I did improve. So you want to move the math grade from 75 to 85. So when you check and you realize, oh, I got 85% in term this, and test this term, and they said, wait, but then it's measurable. I did improve my math grade because I can see I moved from 75 to 85. Okay? So your goal must have some sort of measurements to know that you're making progress. Okay? And measuring your journey keeps you motivated. Right. So it has to be achievable. Keep it realistic and doable. Right? So, for example, with Natalie, she said her dream was to go to the UK. She realized it wasn't really, attainable. It wasn't achievable. Right? It was a bit unrealistic at the point in time. And she shifted her goals. She still desired to study abroad. So she looked at another alternative. Okay? So your goals should stretch your abilities, but it should be possible to achieve. So don't talk about something that's totally impossible, right? And then stress yourself out on, I didn't achieve and that I failed, okay? So you're challenging yourself. So it should push you to get outside of your comfort zone, right? Which Natalie eventually did. She got outside of her comfort zone. She interacted with persons, right? She learns a different language. So we have to be, pushing ourselves to get outside of our comfort zone. Now, it's not going to be comfortable because it says outside of comfort zone. So outside of comfort zone means that you will be uncomfortable. And nothing is wrong with being uncomfortable. Uncomfortable shows that you are growing. Okay, guys? So it's good to be uncomfortable at times. If we're too comfortable, then we get in the kind of slumber and a laziness, and there's no progress in life. Being realistic, for example, studying math 4 times a week is achievable. Studying 7 days a week might lead to burnout. Okay? So you're setting some realistic goals. And prevent frustration. Achievable goals can build confidence instead of causing disappointment. So you want to build your confidence knowing you're achieving rather than setting something that's totally unachievable and then being frustrated that you're not getting there. Realistic. Make sure it fits your life, okay? So it aligns with your values, okay? Your goals should connect to what matters most to you and not what others think you should do, okay? So what do you want for your life? It makes it meaningful, okay? So improving math makes sense if you're interested in science, technology, or business, okay? So it has to relate to what you want to achieve and has to be realistic. Consider whether you have the time, the tools, and the support needed to achieve your goal. So you have to assess, right? Your situation. Not everybody's situation would be conducive to achieving certain goals. Your situation may not be, and therefore do not set unrealistic goals that your situation does not allow you to fulfill. It will lead to frustration. Okay? And bear in mind that the goals must align with what you really want to achieve later on. So realistic goals can connect your personal values and your dreams, right? Making you more likely to stay committed even when challenges arise, which, as I said, challenges will arise. Right, guys. So I want you to interact. Any comments so far? Let's talk about experiences. Maybe you've set certain goals. Did you set your goals realistic, achievable, specific? Let's get some interaction. Hi, Yvette. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, we're talking about setting goals. Napoli shared when she studied abroad, what she had to do and put things in place. You want to share any goals with us, Yvette, about, anything you've set and how that has worked out for you? And how important it is for the young ladies to plan and, set goals to achieve what they want to do?
Okay, so one of the biggest goals that I set for myself from the age of 20 years, I said to myself, because of my background, growing up as a child, I had to struggle. My parents weren't always there for me. I did not want to live a life where I have to struggle like my parents as well. Sometimes they tell you you were not born with a golden spoon. Well, that was me and that was my parents. So it was difficult for them, and I didn't want it to be difficult. Well, so difficult for myself. So I told myself that by the age of 30, I want to say that I own a house. So I started working, and I did achieve that goal. So it took a lot of determination, discipline. Um, I had to remind myself because there was a lot of distraction. Sometimes when you get your salary, you want to do things other young persons are doing. But then I always tell myself that's what I want. And after I achieve that, then I could probably start living the life that other people was living. So now I'm a little more comfortable. So yeah, so now I own my own house. At the age of 30, I had my own house. So I don't like telling people my age, but I'm 33. So
Thank you. Thank you for telling us, Yvette. And congrats, congrats. That is a big achievement for a young woman. It's a big achievement. And thanks for sharing with us, that you set a goal. Because what I want these young ladies to see is the reality of things that you didn't say, well, you're 20 years by 22, I want to have a house, because you knew your circumstances and you knew that it wouldn't take you a certain amount of time. So you set a realistic time frame and you work towards that. And you had to make sacrifices. You couldn't live the life that other people were living and probably going out and buying the things that they were buying at the point in time because you knew what you wanted to achieve, right? And you know what you wanted for your life and not, what other people wanted for you. They maybe wanted you to have a good time with them and go here, there, and that kind of stuff. But you know what you wanted for yourself. And it's important to know what you want for yourself and to set realistic goals, right? And now you can, kind of concentrate on the other things that you want to do now. Because you've already set that goal and you're comfortable that, look, I have a roof over my head. And that is a major achievement for any young woman. And ladies, I would like to encourage you all to take example from Yvette. It's always good to have your own as a young woman. Please take my advice. Yvette, beg them, plead with them, cry, tell them what I tried to tell them, right? It's good to have your own accommodation as a young woman. Set yourself up for success. This is what success is about. Set yourself up for success. Not depends on anybody. Yeah.
and another thing I get in the Caribbean, Another thing in the Caribbean, well, especially in St. Lucia, um, a lot of the adults, young adults, excuse me a minute because I'm at work. Just excuse me a minute.
Sure. Yes. So it's important to have your own. Okay. Don't wait on anybody else to provide a house, land, car, whatever for you. Please, ladies, have your own. Okay. Anybody else wants to talk about their dreams before Yvette comes back on?
Can I share my goals? So, like,
Yes. Say that again, Natalie.
I said, okay, so I would like to share one of my goals, like that I set for myself. Started in I guess in October I will get it. So I'm actually saving for a car now that I've already done with school. So I'm saving for a car, and a house is the next thing that's on my plate, but I need a car. So what I did is I'm saving a specific percentage every month towards getting a vehicle, and I need it by October, November. So like right now I am prioritizing a lot. I'm making so many sacrifices. I don't get my nails done, even though I adore having my nails done. I get my hair done once a month. I don't eat out. If I do eat out, it's only on Fridays. Um, I actually like made some smart investments because I like nails. I got my Gel X kit. I'm gonna practice to do it at home because I feel like in order to get what you want in life, you have to make sacrifices. Nothing comes easy. It may take a little longer, and you can appreciate it more because you know what you had to do to get what you want. So that's my goals for getting a car. My dream car in mind. So yeah.
Yeah. But tell us what type of car, because remember in setting your goals, you know exactly what type of car, and you already went to the showroom, you looked at the car, you found out the price, and you know, right, so I need to save $50,000 for this car by this particular time. So tell us what type of car we're going to be having by October, November this year, Natalie.
So in the Bahamas, I don't know, you guys wouldn't know, but Hondas are a big thing. But I want a Honda 2023 Honda Civic Black. So yeah.
Okay. Lovely. Nice. So Natalie has identified her car. It's a Honda Civic, and she's going to have that before the end of the year. She's set her goals, and she's putting aside her money. So these are the things you need to do, young ladies. Have a look at what you want. If you want, go ahead, Teresa.
Natalie, good luck, and I hope you achieve your goal.
Thank you.
Yeah, so these are the things you need to do. You need to go to the showroom, look at what you want, find out the price, you know. People might say, oh, but girl, you're dreaming, you can't achieve that. You're living in a fantasy land. What you going to the showroom for? You don't even have a dollar in your pocket. Let them say all that they have to say. Once you know what you want, right? You know you want a particular vehicle, you go, you watch, you sit down in it, you test drive it, right? And everything you need to do to fuel your dreams, and you put that down on paper and decide, I'm saving this amount of money by this amount of time, and I will achieve my dream car or my dream house, etc. All of the houses, or nothing wrong with that. You belong in that space. Don't make anybody make you feel that because you don't have the money at the point in time that you don't belong there. Look at nice houses, look at nice cars, whatever you want to achieve. Look at the travel magazines, wherever you want to travel to, and put yourself within that atmosphere to achieve. So, Yvette,
Yes. So I was saying in the Caribbean, especially in St. Lucia, um, people would wait till they're about 45, 50 years to start looking into their dreams, their goals. And by the time they're 50, they're already tired. That's time to be relaxing. That's time for retirement. So I also looked at this. I do not want to be 50 years and still working as hard as I'm working now. So I had to take all these things into perspective. Another advice I can give the young ladies in here, um, it's not because something is in style, like we would say it in St. Lucia, that you have to get it if you don't need it. Um, Me as a young lady, um, sometimes my better half would tell me, you need to get some clothes, you need to get some new shoes. And I'd be like, but I'm comfortable with what I have. They're clean. I know at what point I will change my wardrobe. It's not because, there are certain things that's trending that I have to get it. That money I can put it towards something else. So, I build upstairs of my house. I said, listen, I'm going to build downstairs. And I build downstairs. So right now, downstairs, my home is an apartment and somebody else is living in my apartment. So it's a lot of mind work, and I want you all to remain focused. Do not get distracted because of peer pressure and what your friends probably have and you do not have now. You can achieve everything that you want. So you set your goals and you work towards it. I cannot come and work towards your goals for you. Only you can work towards your goals. That's what I have to say.
Thanks so much for that encouragement, Yvette. And it's showing them that, okay, so you have a house, you don't just stop there, you're thinking business wise, you're thinking investment, you build it downstairs, somebody else is living there. I mean, it's a business investment, you're going to be getting some sort of funding. And that will help you to go towards paying, your mortgage or saving up for something else. So this is how you have to be thinking, you have to have an entrepreneurial mindset. You have to be thinking, how could money work for me rather than I working for money all the time? So this is how entrepreneurship ties into your goals. Because if you go to work every day, there's only so many hours in the day and so much money you could work for. But if you have an investment that's bringing in money for you, now your home now becomes an asset to you because it can bring in an extra couple $1,000 or extra few $100 each month. Right? So that is how you have to be thinking, right, ladies? So don't just say, well, I want a home, and you go on and buy some $2 million home and you sit down in it and then you have to be paying taxes and upkeep and all that, and the home can't bring in $1 for you. Okay? Nice. So time bound. You're setting deadlines because otherwise this goal could go on forever. If you don't set a timeline when you want to achieve something, then it's not really a goal. Okay, you have to have a deadline by which you're going to be pushing yourself. Okay, so you ask yourself when, right? Set a specific date where you want to achieve this goal, right? Without a timeline, there's a lot of procrastination. You say, okay, I'll do that next year and next 2 years. And before you know it, 10 years pass and you have not achieved what you wanted to achieve. Okay? So you're creating milestones. You're breaking up your bigger goals into smaller chunks. So you're saying piece by piece, this is what I want to, to achieve. Right? So you may want to be able to do something big, but to get there, you have to have smaller steps before you get to that bigger goal. Okay? So the example is you improve your math grade by the end of this semester instead of someday. Someday I'll improve my math grade, Someday. When is someday? Someday could be next month, next year, next 10 years. Okay? So you have a deadline. Okay? It creates a healthy sense of pressure. You have to have some sort of pressure on you to be able to perform. Right? Right. So celebrate every step forward. Right? So you're creating a checklist. Right? So it's like your to-do list today. Today I need to do this, that, and the other. And you're just ticking off as you go along the day and you realize, oh, I got 5 out of the 10 things I wanted to do done. So don't say, oh, well, I didn't get 5 things done now. Celebrate, yay, I got this amount done. I'm happy at least I achieved something today. So you have to keep focused and keep celebrating each of your wins. Remember that every small step, okay, is a victory. It's worth celebrating. Okay? Oh, Camille is joining us. Right. Right. So each step is worth celebrating. It's part of your journey, and you need to celebrate as you go along. So putting it all together, we have the SMART goal example. So we have specific is to raise your math grade. Measurable is from what percent to what percent, which is 75 to 85. Achievable, you're studying 4 times a week. And realistic, it fits into your schedule and your interests. And time bound is 3 months deadline. So now you have a complete goal that is SMART. Right, guys? So the goal checks all the SMART boxes, right? Making it clear, measurable, and most likely to succeed. Okay? So my goal would be to raise my math grade from 75 to 85% by studying 4 times a week, okay, within the next 3 months. So by this particular time. Why SMART goals help you balance your life? Because it breaks down big dreams, okay? Because your dreams could be overwhelming at times, but it helps it to be manageable, okay? It helps you to manage multiple priorities, right? Because you balance the school, friends, family, personal interests, and it helps you to build your confidence, okay? You see visible progress in all areas of your life, and it boosts your self-esteem. There's a lot of times when we don't see progress in our life, we become very despondent and discouraged and sometimes depressed because we think, well, our friends are getting somewhere and we're not getting anywhere. And look, it's 5 years and I haven't been able to achieve this or achieve that, right? So that's why we set SMART goals, okay? And it helps us to balance our life. As you see, the girl, she's juggling school, she's juggling family, friends, all sorts, right? So it helps us to break down the goals, manage our priorities, and build our confidence. Right. So your turn. What's one goal you want to shine on? So we had Natalie share our goals with better, right? So I would like you young ladies to get your pen and paper out, take a moment and think about something that's important to you and something you really want to accomplish. So you need to do this exercise. That'll be 5 minutes. So you're going to write it down in one sentence. Check if it's specific enough. Make sure you can measure it, just as we spoke about. Confirm that it's achievable. Ensure that it's realistic for your life at this stage. And add a time frame to it, okay? So you're going to share your goals. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that. And each of you are going to share your goals, okay? In the meantime, I want to welcome Camille. Hi, Camille. Thanks for joining us. Lovely to have you with us. We're just wrapping up SMART goals, and then we're going to be going into PA. Hi. That's right. Thanks for joining us. We're wrapping up SMART goals, and then we're going to be going into peer relationships, and how they relate to each other and having empathy, etc. Yeah? Which we're not to be pitching in. Yeah, we're going to be pitching in there.
Yes, when I got in, as I was listening to you with the SMART goals, Simone,
Yeah.
it helped me a bit. Well, I just got in, but I think I have a gist of what you was sharing, and it fits in well for what I have to give or what I desire to give to a teenage client later this afternoon. Yeah, because she said that she studies, she produces well, but the balance, and because of not having the balance, she's having a hard time progressing. So I believe there should be some balance, and also because of the lack of balance, the self-esteem. And I heard you speak about when you have the balance and you set the thing right, you would be more confident. So yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I could forward this to you, Camille, so that you could
No problem at all, Simone. Trials.
can help. Yeah. Yes. So just telling them, yeah, we're juggling a lot, and it's important to balance life and to set realistic, goals that will help them not feel overwhelmed, but help them feel in control and that they're progressing. Because we all want to know that we're progressing. Yeah. Yeah. So ladies, 3 minutes again. So we've had Yvette and Napoli already, and we're gonna hear from the rest of the young ladies. Please raise your hand when you're finished. All right. Anybody else? 1 minute again. Now it's just one goal, not your whole life goals. Just one. So we give everybody a chance. This is a safe space. Let's explore your goals so that way we can help you to craft, SMART goals, so that when you do your other goals, you'll know what to do. Aisha, go ahead.
One objective I would like to accomplish would be obtaining all ones for my CSEC exam next year.
Okay. So you're going to obtain all ones for your CSEC next year. Right. So you know exactly what grades you want to achieve, what you want to achieve, which is CSEC, okay, exams on the time frame next year. Right? And that is relevant to you and it's realistic. Okay? Attainable. Nice. So in order to achieve that now, that's a big dream for the next year. So how are you going to, remember, we have building blocks. Step by step, we're going to be putting building blocks in place to achieve that goal. So how are you going to achieve that goal now? What are the plans that you're going to put in place? There's smaller goals now you need to put in place to achieve that big goal. So what you're going to do?
Of course, more revising, a lot more reading, and quote unquote burning the midnight oil because you have to put in your work to get that. It's not easy to get that marks for CXC.
All right. So the other goals that you're going to do, they're going to be SMART goals as well. So we want, what I want you to do is to start putting out some SMART goals, very specific goals, measurable, etc., to achieve that big one. So the first goal will be to assess where you're at right now with all the subjects. So that's, for example, if you're doing 5 subjects, you want to assess where you're really at with each of the subjects. Are you at that grade 1 level right now with each of them? That's the first goal. If you're doing maths, English, say physics, chem, bio, and you assess all of them and you realize, look, with maths, I'm not at a grade 1 level, I'm at a grade 3 level at the moment, right? Because what you will do is you will look at the grade according to the grading scheme and you'd realize that you're not at the grade 1, you're at grade 3. So what you would like to do is to set a goal for your math, because you know you want to achieve a grade 1 by next year. So what are you going to put in place? So that's the goal we had earlier on. You're going to move your math grade from a grade 3 to a grade 1, which in the period of time, which is 1 year. So how are you going to do that? You're going to be studying 3 times a week for 1 hour, 4 times a week for 2 hours. You have to put specific, time frames that you're going to be studying and what you're going to be doing. Are you going to be doing past papers 1 day in a week and do, videos or lessons or whatever on the other days? So put specifically what you're going to do to be able to move your grade from where it's at now to where you would like it to be. Okay? So that's what you need to do for all your subjects in order to be able to achieve what you want to achieve within a year's time. So you have to break it down into smaller pieces. So starting from September the 1st, 2025, I will be studying 1 hour each day, math from this time to that time, from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Be very specific so you're holding yourself accountable. So you know when 5 o'clock comes each day or every other day for the week, whichever goal you set, that you're going to be sitting down, doing your past papers or watching a video or doing a lesson, etc., to do it math. And that is where, you would see the progress, moving your grade from one stage to the next. So the first thing would be to assess where you're at. You know where you would like to go. You'd like to move from where you're at to grade 1 and how you're going to get there for each subject. Right? What are your thoughts on that?
Makes a lot of sense, man.
Yeah.
And I see that Janine's goal is very similar, where her goal is to finish high school with 1s and 2s in about 6 to 7 months.
Okay, great. Nice. So I'm glad that we're on the same track, everyone. So I've already broken it down as to how you go about achieving that. You assess where you're at now, and what you're willing to do is move from one stage to the next, okay? And how you're going to get there. By studying how many times a week, the specific subject, at what specific time, for how many hours, and you're holding yourself accountable. So what I would like Clarice to tell us how she did what she did, right? And give us some tips, Maybe if she took the same approach that I'm talking about, right? Because I could talk from my point of view, she's more relevant to the topic, right, Clarice? So tell them how you achieved it, what you achieved, what plan you put in place.
Okay, well, hi guys. I got A1s in CSEC, and obviously I didn't do that by the snap of my fingers, so I had to study and put a plan on. So every evening when I came home, I had a specific goal in mind to get ones in CSEC. So I would take a nap for 30 minutes to get my booster in the evening. And then me and my cousin would sit down because we do the same subjects or most of them. And we would study for hours, but we would take little breaks in between. And well, yeah. And in school too, I try to pay attention so that when I come home, I wanted to do more study work that the teacher already teach. So yeah, I think that's all because I really like schoolwork and I really like homework and stuff. So it was really easy for me. But like if you don't like them stuff, you could like find fun ways to do it, like look at YouTube videos, um, like find interactive ways to do it with friends. But like if you might just get distracted fast, then try to do it by yourself. And like put your phone in our friend room or something. But like, you have a goal, get your mindset to it and yeah.
Thanks so much for that, Clarice. Guys, you all heard it from the horse's mouth about how she did it. It's very relevant. She's same age as you guys, and she's in this era, not a dinosaur like myself. And she's telling you how she did it, right? So you can't say that no old person telling you and they don't know what you're going through. And the subjects these days different and it's hard, right? She just did it. She's telling you what she did. And if she can do it, you can do it too. Okay, guys? Nice. So put a plan in place. Wonderful. Anybody else? Let's share.
Okay, miss, this is Whitney. I would like to finish school, secondary school next year, come out with ones and twos, and attend nursing school after in custard and finish it out and become a whole children's school.
Wow, lovely with me. Great. So you heard what I said with regards to the goals. You have to break them up into smaller pieces. How are you going to achieve those ones and twos? You have to assess where you're at now, and you have to have a plan, as to we say, studying. If you come home, you take a nap, or you eat before. If you have a study partner, you put all those things in place, and you study. You already know that you want to go to Custard. You know what you want to study there. So that is fantastic. So it means that you would have checked with Custard to see what subjects they require. You're studying the subjects to get in, okay, and you know the grades that they need. So once you've achieved that, you go straight into Custard and you know what you want to do. So that's wonderful. Now, in achieving our goals, we will have challenges in getting there, okay? So I would like you all to talk about some of those challenges. So, for example, Whitney, what are some of the challenges that you may experience? You can share with us. You never know, who may be able to help with challenges that you're going through if you want to achieve these goals. So let's Whitney go first, and anybody else to tell me about some of the challenges in achieving their goals. Go ahead, Whitney.
Okay, miss. So in one of the subjects I'm doing is integrated science, and that is like very important to the thing that I want to be in life. And certain like the like labels and like certain things that I have to remember on the body parts and where etc. It kinda hard to remember every and each detail to put in the label, and I just kinda had the mix up and stuff.
Okay. Thanks for sharing that with us. Anybody who's studying science and maybe biology could give Whitney any ideas as to how she could overcome this challenge with naming the parts of the body and labeling. I know there may be some fun videos, there may be some rhyme or some ways you could remember the parts of the body and things like that. Anybody could give any tips on that?
I'm now gonna say when it was I was doing biology in school, um what I did was I went on YouTube, and yes, those anime like videos, they're very, very fun to watch, sometimes funny, and they tend to stick in your head, especially when they have like those songs. You can mash the parts. So you learn the parts, the functions, what they look like, what they're supposed to look like, what they're not supposed to look like, etc. And how to detect faults and the reason for it. The different aspects of it, which is said that they were doing the science.
You were
Okay. What I would do, I would see if I can find like some YouTube channels that I would have looked at, and I can forward it to help out.
okay. Thank you, miss.
Well,
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Aralia. So, Whitney, we'll follow up with you, and Aralia will send those channels, on tips that, can help you out there. Any other challenges, Whitney? And Kayla? This overall? Okay. Nice. All right. Anybody else would like to talk about any challenges? And now is the time to talk because this is the space for you to get your help. All right, guys. So we talk about breaking up the big goals into smaller steps. Okay. So you're starting small, you're building gradually, right? And then you're celebrating your progress. Do not forget to celebrate your progress. That is important. It gives you that confidence to keep going. Okay. Tracking your progress, staying motivated, and celebrating your wins. Right. So you record it. So you use your journal app. Remember, we have that the journal app. So I hope that you guys are reflecting and using your journal app because that's part of this program where it's like a portfolio building. We normally do a portfolio where at the end of the program, we submit your portfolio, there are prizes to be won. Okay. So the journaling aspect comes like that at this point in time where after each session, you record and you reflect. Okay. So to mark your progress, you could use your journal, you could use an app, you could use your calendar, and you're using visual trackers to help you see how far you've come, okay, that you're making progress, right? You're sharing it, okay, telling your friends and your family about your achievements. Hi, Cherise, right? And you're celebrating it, right? So you're rewarding yourself. So when you reach a milestone, you might think, when you're not wanting to buy that ice cream or that KFC or something, let me go and sit down, by the ice cream shop or in KFC and reward myself. Or you might take a day out, right, etc. Or you might cook something special that you always wanted, to do, and you reward yourself, right, guys? Yeah, keep yourself motivated. Overcoming roadblocks. Be flexible and keep going, right? So as we just spoke about, there will be challenges, right? Sometimes things don't always go as planned, right? Just as we learned earlier on that sometimes you plan your day and it doesn't go exactly as you plan. So what matters is how you respond to your challenges. So you're looking for ways to counteract the challenges, okay? Rather than say, oh, this is a challenge, I give up. Okay, so you face the challenge, you acknowledge when something isn't working without judgment or blame. So you're not blaming anybody, you're not blaming yourself. You realize that this is a hurdle I have to face. You reflect and you learn. You ask what's working, what needs to change, what can I learn from this? You're adjusting the plan now, you're tweaking the plan, all right? So you modify your approach based on what you've learned and you keep moving forward. Nothing must stop you from moving forward to achieve your dreams. Nothing. Okay, guys? Keep that in mind. Nothing. Right. So real stories, teens who you use SMART goals to shine. Okay. So these are some stories here. We've been hearing about stories from you guys about your goals and what you did to achieve them. Okay. So we have Maya who was struggling with science class. She felt overwhelmed. She created SMART goals to improve her grade from C to B plus. So she's moving from one stage to the next, right? By studying. So this is how she's going to do it. 30 minutes daily, right? And asking for help twice a week. Okay. Nothing's wrong with asking for help. And after 2 months, right? She not only reached her goal, but she gained up confidence in her ability to learn challenging material. Okay, and we have Jasmine who loves soccer. She set her SMART goal, okay, to maintain her A average while making all her soccer practices, right? She created a detailed schedule, right? And by planning specific homework times, okay, around her practice, she excelled in both areas. Right, so some tips for success, your Shine SMART Goal Toolkit, okay? So write it down. Goals that stay in your head are wishes, 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 wishes. Don't live on wishes. Write your goals down so they can become a reality. Okay? Share your journey. Tell your trusted friends and family, right? And get their support and their accountability. So they will say, but Kayla, I thought you said you wanted to be able to, achieve this particular thing by this particular time. But what you doing to get towards that? I see like every evening you come, you're on your phone, you're on your phone, you're on your phone every day. You wouldn't be able to achieve that, by being on your phone every day. So then they're reminding you that you need to stay on track, for the goals that you want to achieve. So keep your friends and family, close to accounts so you could account to that. And you're rewarding yourself, as I said, whenever you reach a milestone, do something fun, treat yourself. Right. So we're wrapping up this. Shine challenge. Set your SMART goal today. Okay. So I would like to challenge each and every one of you to set your goals. That exercise that we did. At least try to set 5 goals that you're working towards. And remember that you're in charge of your journey. This is your journey. You are the one in charge. Right, guys? So, SMART goals give you control over your future. You decide what matters and how to get there. So, you have that power. You are in control. You decide. You have that balance. Clear goals help you to create harmony between your school, your relationships, the activities, and self-care, which is very important. And you have growth. Every step towards your goals builds confidence, resilience, and skills that last a lifetime. Remember, you are in control of your journey. You have the power. You're going to be balancing and growing. Okay? Your future starts now. Let's shine together. And I want to say together again, together, because we're here to support each other. Okay? If you need any support, let us know. Now is the time. We're going to be moving into our session talking about peer relationships and empathy. And we want to be able to be there to support each other, okay? So dream big. Your goals are the first step to creating the life you want. And nothing is too big or too small if it matters to you. Dream big, take action, small, consistent steps leading to amazing results. It's like if you want to climb a step that's 100 stairs high, right? You have to start 1, 2, 3, 4 in order to reach the top. You can't just reach the top without going through each of the steps. Okay? And that's what your smaller goals are. They are steps to get to the big goal. And transform. When you reach the top, you'll watch how your life has changed, okay? Right? Through the power of focused intention and deliberate action. You have to remain focused, okay? As Yvette was saying, staying focused. And you have to have deliberate action. If you do not deliberately do anything about it, it will not happen. So you have to be deliberate. The difference between a dream and a goal is a deadline and a plan. Okay? So dreams and wishes, yes. You set a goal, okay? And you have a deadline and a plan with that goal, and the dreams will materialize, okay? Shine on, unstoppable girls. Your journey to success starts with one smart step today. All right, so that's the end of that presentation, ladies. I would like to leave the floor open, and then we will go into talking about peer relationships, empathy, etc. So I would like Camille to interject there, and Aralia, we'll have some, talk. This is where you can be open about how you relate to each other, what kind of support, you may need, and encouragement, etc. So the floor is now open.
Thanks a lot, Miss Simone, for sharing all these wonderful tips. Yeah, it's a lot to take in, but honestly, step by step, break it down in parts, and I think we all should be fine. For me, my main challenge with setting goals is the accountability aspect. Like I may set goals down to the T, but if that accountability isn't there, I alter it a lot. So that's my main challenge, but
Accountability is very important. Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Somebody holding you accountable, to ensure having that, like a steady partner, to make sure that you're staying on track, That's important for me.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. So, all right. So, Camille, do you wanna interject with regards to peer relationships? Anything you wanna talk about with that?
Well,
Earlier, I think we have some exercises. Just like an informal discussion, we are having.
yes, I can someone. You asked me in terms of peer relationships.
It's
It's
just yeah, empathy, and
it's so very significant in terms of I mean, just this morning, Dex and I, we were speaking about that and the need for it. Sometimes we have students, they're navigating and they're thinking, well, they're alone in it. And sometimes that peer support is so very important so that persons would know that, hey, I'm not in this alone. I have someone to lean on. And something about peer with peer standing with peer. Yes, we can run to the adults, we can run to the teacher, we can run to the social worker, we can go to our parents, and it's all good. However, hearing from that positive peer, that positive friend, I think it's very valuable. It's very important. It's much well needed. And to our young people, they should tap into it. Find that secure friend, that safe friend, that positive friend, that friend who can motivate you and stand with you even in that difficult time, whether it be at studies or just navigating life. So that's it, Simone.
thanks very much for that, Camille. Appreciate. All right, then we had some exercises, I think, for the peer relationship we tried. If we can see what that looks like. We'll maybe able to bring up one or two. So we could kind of, bring a discussion. But ladies, I would like you all to start to open up and interact. Talk about how, you relate to your friends and what that is like. Do you have supportive friends? Do you have friends who, have similar goals and dreams? You all share that with each other. Are they supportive? So this is an open discussion and this is the time for it. Ladies, in order to get the most out of this program, you need to interact, right? As much as possible, you need to put your cameras on, you need to be present. If you're not present, you're not gonna get the most out of this program. It's important, right?
Yes, I fixed my mic.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I am finally out of bed.
Ah, lovely. You enjoying some sunshine.
Yeah.
It's very good. The benefits of the sun is very, very important. It's good to get a bit of sunlight every single day. Do your deep breathing, getting the fresh air, go for a walk. All of these things help us to balance, as we were talking about with Donna last week, right? You'd be surprised what the sunshine can do for us. I'm telling you. I've used a lot of light therapy in my healing, not just infrared, but infrared light from the sun, right? We get lots of healthy sun rays. Okay. The sea, getting a beach bath in. Yeah. So I'm glad you're getting in some sunshine. You'd be surprised how that lifts our mood. I'm telling you. Right, Tara? So I tell us some of the days when it's gloomy as opposed to sunny. How do you feel?
I feel fine.
Yeah. When the gloomy days and there's no sun, do you feel bright and cheery?
If I don't feel bright and cheery, what will happen? Everybody go be gloomy.
Right. So you had to feel bright and cheery. I like that one. Right. That's it. You just gotta get with the program, eh? I like that one, Tara. So have to feel bright and cheery. You gotta keep yourself motivated, keep yourself going. Right, Shanika, we're not hearing from you, girl. What's up?
Miss, I managed to fix my mic.
Say that again?
Miss, I managed to fix my mic.
Ah, okay. Nice. So let's hear from you. What are your thoughts today? And what's been happening?
My thoughts on today, well, why do you just say this has made me feel more confident in myself because originally I had no goals at first. But then during, of course, the weeks and holidays, and during these 4 weeks, 5 weeks, during these 5 weeks, I noticed I had a little bit of passion for these.
Yeah, you didn't have any goals, you said before? That was before the program started or before today?
Well, before I had no goals. Basically, I was just bedrotting. And after the program, I started to hang out with my friends. Friends that started to actually paint more. I like to paint.
Okay. So to paint more, hang out with your friends. Nice. Okay. So would you say that the program is having a positive impact then?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, that's wonderful. I'm really happy to hear that. Um, Shanika was having a lot of issues before. As you said, you were bed rotting. You were just lying down in bed all day and doing nothing, right?
Yes.
No goals, no dreams, nothing. Yeah. And since the program, you started to do stuff, hang out with your friends, paint, right? So I'm really, really happy to hear that the program is motivating you. And that is what we're here for, to make a difference in the lives of you young ladies. So I would want you to start writing down your goals. We will send the worksheet, Aralia, in the email. So you'll write down your goals and do the activities, and it will help to motivate you even more. Right. And I would like you all to feel free to reach out to us. If you're struggling, for that motivation. We have the chat. Aralia messages you guys every week. Reach out on the chat. We reach out to her on a personal message, right? And we will get persons on board. We have Camille and her husband, Dexter, who is a psychologist. And we will get help for you guys. That's what we're here for, right? There's no reason to be suffering in silence, thinking I'm the only one going through this. Everyone is going through something, and there is a solution, okay? There is a solution. So don't think that any problem is too big and you can't solve it, right? So thanks so much for sharing that, Shanika. Okay? What I would like you to do is, if you can do like a little video clip, or if you don't want to do a video clip and you want to do a voice clip stating how the program has helped you, move from one stage to the next, we would really appreciate that, okay? That we could use on our social media. So if you're not feeling, okay to do a video, then you can just do your voice, okay? Yeah? Thanks so much for sharing. Great. So I'm really happy that this has helped Shanika move from one stage to the next. I mean, anybody else could testify that they're getting results, that the program is helping and encouraging them, and they're moving from one stage to the next over the past few weeks. This is our 5th week. Next week will be our 6th week, guys. That will be more or less our kind of closing session in a way, because we won't be going week to week after that. We'll only have one session a week in September, one in October, one in November. And then in December, on the 6th of December, we have our graduation. Okay? It's going to be a grand graduation celebration in the San Fernando area. We want each and every one of you there with your family. We're going to have the talent show. We're going to have an expo. It's going to be amazing, right, guys? This will be your time to showcase, your culture. It's going to be showcasing mental health through our culture, okay, and positivity. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Right, guys? So the floor is open. What's that, Aralia?
So I definitely look forward to that.
Oh, yes. I can't wait. It's like I want December to come so quick. I am very excited, honestly. We'll have a partner from all over the Caribbean and from the US coming in. We're going to have tours. You ladies are in for a real treat. You got to stick with the program, right? Okay. Nice. So let's have Yvette. So we're going to have Yvette coming to Trinidad as well, right, Yvette?
Well, hopefully, yes.
Yvette, that's a goal, and you got to put things in place, eh?
Oh boy. I just wanted to say that last week I had a presentation with 15 vulnerable girls in my community, and I used some of what I learned here to share with them, especially the core values, the discussion we had on the first day. So I use a lot of that to trickle it down to them. So I must say that I am learning a lot, and I'm passing on whatever that I'm learning.
Oh, thank you so much, Yvette. I really appreciate that. Ladies, I want you all to put together little video clips or voice clips, so that we can put it on social media. Persons can see that the program is making a difference, it's impacting, because we want the program to continue. We want our sponsors to see that their money is, making a difference, that it's changing the lives of the persons who we come into contact with, right? I really feel, joyful to know that it's making a difference in the lives of you young ladies. Thank you. We have Charisai. Go ahead.
So in see and I'm yeah. At the single one, what you say, you go take a voice clip and picture clip and stuff. How we gonna do that?
the voice note or like a video and do a little video recording from your phone, and then you can send it to us on the chat. And it's like if you're going to post something on TikTok and that kind of stuff, so you know how you do normally do a video recording or voice recording.
No, miss, I don't be on TikTok.
Okay. So you can do your voice recording, right? If you feel okay, if you get permission from your parents and you want to do like a video recording and they okay for you to share your face, then that's fine, but you get permission from them first. If not, you can do a voice recording on the voice recorder on your phone, and then you can just share it onto the WhatsApp that Aralia normally sends out, right?
Okay.
Okay. I spoke about how the program has impact. You're welcome, but get permission from your parents, ladies. You need to get permission once you're under 18 from your parents if you want to share your face, okay? Like on a voice a video for yourself. Thank you. Right, guys. Anybody else? Yvette, you want to go ahead? Or your hand's still up from the last time?
It is still up from the last time. Sorry.
Right. Right. So, Aralia, what about the activities for the PA? We could bring up any of them and go through.
I have like some questions for a discussion.
Yes.
You can do that.
Is it possible? Yeah, if we can bring it up and then that way we can have a bit of a discussion and maybe a bit of role play and stuff for the next 10 minutes. If you really want to ladies to interact, now is your time to, to share. Do you have support from your friends, the family? Talk about empathy. Anybody knows what empathy is about?
Um, can I?
Yeah, go ahead, Yvette.
Okay, so in my understanding and my everyday living, I believe empathy is putting yourself in somebody else's shoes.
Yes. Well said. Yes, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Because sometimes, we're in our shoes so much that we're not understanding how other people feel. And when we put ourselves in their shoes, we understand that this is what they're really going through. Therefore, we need to react differently, differently to that. Okay? Yeah? Right. So, we're talking about peer relationships. So, we have like what makes a healthy friendship, right? So, a good friend listens without judging, stands up for you, celebrates your success, checks in when you're down, and encourages you to be yourself. Yeah? Anybody has healthy friendships based on this information here? Raise your hand. And are you a good friend? Are you a healthy friend to your peers? This is what you have to think. Do you listen to them without judging?
Not judging. Yes. I do. Have to put it. Yeah.
Terrifying.
I am a good friend. I do have a couple of good, healthy friendships.
Nice.
Yes, I could say that. Because my friends and I, we have a group. We check in on each other every luncheon period. And everybody talks about what they feel and know. You cannot judge them while we are in the group.
Okay.
Wow, that sounds really good. Catch up.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We need more of that because we need that support. We need to know we're not alone. And even for us as adults too, we need to have our friendship group, checking on each other. We don't hear from somebody, find out how they're going. It's really important to keep track because sometimes we get caught up in our own lives, as adults, and we think we have so much going on that we're not even checking in our friends to see, what's happening. And they're going through a lot as well. And just a little word of encouragement or knowing that, your friend called, it gives you that little, perk up to say, okay, well, somebody's thinking about me, they care, somebody's concerned, right? So it's really important to have healthy friendships and to be considerate of other people's feelings, to check up on them, to encourage, okay? Right? Okay. So what's the next is we're talking about bullying here now. So this will be an unhealthy type of relationship, okay? Which we would have with your peers. So we have healthy relationships and then we have unhealthy ones, which will be bullying would be a characteristic of an unhealthy type of relationship between peers. Yeah. So why do people bully others? Okay. What might stop someone from speaking up when they're seeing bullying? What's the difference between joking and bullying? And have you ever seen someone stand up for a peer in a positive way? So I want you all to start a discussion around this. So you all could let me know, if you've observed bullying, why the person was bullying, if you discovered why, and if you have any friends who stand up for you and that kind of stuff.
I would say that from my observation, even over the years, when I was in like primary school and stuff, I was bullied, and even in the beginning of secondary school, you know, and I used to question myself, like, why do they do this? You know, and even I myself would have bullied others, and to be honest, I think from my perspective of doing it, it was more like a joke. So, like, if you're teasing someone, like if the other person is laughing and you could feel like it's a, a uplifting sort of connection going on while doing it. Um, it's more in that light in which I would have done it. But then I would have also experienced when it wasn't so nice. It was hurtful. Um, some other aspects as well. And even from that perspective, when I think of it, my thoughts on that could be that the person is seeking attention of some sort so that, they pick on you in whatever way. So the attention goes on them, regardless of if it's a good way or bad way, you know? Um, so that's my point of view of why people bully others.
Thanks for sharing that, Aralia. Yes, Yvette, go ahead.
Okay, so growing up, I was bullied when I was at the primary level. Um, I have psoriasis, and I didn't know what it was. My mom was never around, so it's like I had to figure it out, and my granny had to try and figure it out. So it was really bad before I got to know what it was. And the children at school, they used to bully me a lot. And eventually, I became a bully. So they used to bully me until it switched and I became a bully at school. And it was really bad because I used to bully people, children a lot. And even sometimes, if I have to be honest, it is still in me, like being a bully, but not in a negative way. I remember, I think our second session here, one of the things I said, I think there were a few words and we had to pick it out. And then I think one of the things that I chose was I can't remember which word exactly, but it has something to do with like you're not going to back down if you don't get what you want. And I still believe that's kind of a little me being a little bully. And
Rebellious, I think was the word. Rebellious.
rebellious, that was it. Yes. Um, but then I try to flip it on the positive side and not on the negative side. But sometimes when I give myself examination, I still find a little bull inside of me. But again, it's in a good way because I don't settle for what I believe is not. So I believe sometimes children bully other children because they've been bullied. And that's honestly the reason why I used to bully people. Again, at school, I used to fight a lot because if you're my friend and people bullying you, I'm going to fight for you because I know what it feels like to be bullied. So if you're bullying my friend, then I'm going to be the bull and I'm going to bully you. everywhere I see you, I want to fight with you because you're causing my friend pain and something of that sort. So I believe one of the main reasons why, well, not the main, but one of the reasons why children bully is because sometimes they've been bullied before. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Yvette. Yes, so we've seen that similarity where, people who were bullied, eventually bully, it's just a chain reaction, isn't it? Go ahead, guys.
Yes, Auntie Simone. I used to be bullied in infants, but as I got older, my cousin that was in the school with me, she had recognized that I was getting bullied. But a time someone had bullied my little brother, and I stood up to that bully, and I thought that I should not let another bully put me down and make me feel bad about myself. So I stopped being bullied, and I helped other children that was being bullied to stop getting bullied. And I told the bullies to stop bullying other children, and I reported the bullies to the principal.
Okay, great. Thank you. Nice. So we have to form healthy relationships. We have to stand up for others who are being bullied, right? And because we know how they feel. Okay? So standing up for each other is good. That's great. Anybody else?
I would say that I have I don't think I've ever stood up for anyone. And this answers the second question, what might some what might stop someone from speaking up, right? And really and truly from remembering my experience, I think it's that I was scared. I was scared that I would be found out and therefore I would be bullied, and even worse than the person was being bullied, you know? Um, and I didn't know how to deal with those situations where it's like, okay, should I tell someone? Should I not tell someone? Should I like videotape and just share anonymously or something? Or, like that is something I think that is not necessarily widespread in terms of how to deal with that scenario. Um, I don't know, Miss, if or anyone else could give advice on how to deal with those situations from the point of view of feeling scared that you'll be bullied and how to protect yourself.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Aralia. And there's always that fear, in the whole bullying scenario that people are very fearful, right? So that's why they don't stand up sometimes for others because they're afraid that they become the victim as well, right? It's always a very, touchy subject, negative relationships, with regards to bullying, etc. So I'm really glad that you all can feel open to share um your feelings and your experiences. So how about social pressure, right? What are some of the pressures teens face in school or online? Have you ever done something just to fit in, you know? Or maybe it's not the right thing to do, but everybody's doing it, and if I don't do it, well, I won't fit in, or I might be laughed at, etc. How does that go? Why is it hard to be yourself sometimes? So we want to open up discussions around that, ladies. Right? What are some of the pressures that teens face in school or online today? Tell me, because it's very different from when I went to school. We didn't have online, social media and all this kind of stuff. There weren't computers and anything like that. Computers were just coming in, and they weren't used for that type of activity. So it's a whole different world. So what are some of the pressures that you guys are facing? Right? And have you done things to fit in? So now it's your time.
Kina, are you there?
I'm not hearing anyone, Aralia.
Yes, we're here with you.
Nobody wants to talk. All right. Well, let's move on then. Move on to the other questions.
Right. You could go on to the peer support, right? So an example was given. I think it was Tarishai who gave us example of the friend group that they have and they check in every luncheon. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That's a lovely format in which you get our peer support. Anyone else wants to share what they think a supportive peer environment could look like? What does that look like to you? Do you have that in your life right now? If you don't, what would you like to have in that sort of light of peer support? How can we support you?
Yeah. So ladies, you all can open up. How could we support you? Do you have that type of support? And what does it look like? What else do you guys do to support your friends, to be empathetic to them and understanding? We want to foster healthy relationships here. Ladies, this is a safe space. This is your time to speak up, right? If you don't speak up, we don't know what's happening. We don't know how we could support you. We don't know how we can improve the program. Now is your time to speak up.
Alright. So, and Simone, the way I could keep on supporting me is by continuing this program. Because it shows that it doesn't only support me, it supports all the other girls, young ladies, and women that take place in this program. And I support my friends by remembering their birthdays, trying to bring something for them for their birthday. And even though nobody else remembers it's their birthday, I keep on trying to say happy birthday to them.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the encouragement, Tarasai, because I'm telling you, it takes a lot of encouragement to keep going, yeah? It does. Because sometimes you think it's only you alone want this, like this is my dream alone, but it's good to know that others are benefiting from it. All right, so let's hear Cherise. Any challenges there?
I don't support my friends because we have a society friend group and like everybody in the friend group just feel like comfortable coming to the two of us and talking to us about stuff. So like we just support them like for somebody who they could talk to about like anything.
Okay. So you feel supported by these same friends? Like if you have an issue or anything like that, you think you could talk with them, you have a good relationship when you have an issue?
I don't really talk to other people about anything I'm going through except for my sister.
Okay. This guy's like your peer,
Yeah, also. Yeah, my bestie.
your bestie. Oh, that's so sweet. Cherise and Clarice, besties. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, it's nice to have that bond. Wonderful. We need that support, right, guys? So it might be in the form of your sister, it might be in the form of your cousin, or your best friend, etc. But you need that peer support, somebody who's around your age who could understand what you're going through, right? Nice. Shanika, you want to tell us anything? Do you have any kind of, like peer support? Now that you've started back like interacting a bit more, what about your friends?
So my friends. I do have good friends, but one but I'm not exactly sure about one of them. Well,
You're not sure about one of your friends?
yeah, I've probably with 5 people. We're all good and nice to each other. It's just that one of them doesn't really seem too nice to me.
Okay. Right. So one of the things is to trust your instinct. If you think that's something not, right, trust your instinct, right? And then you'll know how much, you can tell her, how much you can confide in her. And, look out for signs of, behavior that is not healthy, right? So trust your instincts. If you think, that maybe she's not, somebody who you'd want to have as a close friend, then obviously you can say, hi to her, etc. But just, know your limits. Right, guys? And that applies to everyone. Trust your instincts. Sometimes you might figure that somebody may not be having your back. And if someone doesn't have your back, to trust your instincts because you don't want to put yourself in a situation to be hurt or to become vulnerable to somebody who doesn't have your best interest at heart. So thanks so much for sharing that, Shanika. Right. Come on, guys. This is an open discussion.
The question you asked was, how do you support your peers, right?
Yes, it's around you supporting your peers. Do they support you? Do you have that kind of support grouping on how, we could support each other more?
Okay, so I have a very tiny circle and I'm very big on friendship. So I have like it's 5 of us in a circle. I call this my tiny circle. And one of them we've been friends for what, like almost 20 years now. And the other two, I met them from day one at when I started working. That's in 2011, March 7th, 2011. And we've been friends from since then until now. I can safely say that we always argue because we're not the same, we're different. But the good thing about this is that we don't argue to insult each other. We argue to make each other understand things from different perspectives and we learn from our arguments. So, a healthy relationship or a friendship, I would say there must be arguments, but in a nice way, in a healthy way, respectable way. So, we have a group chat. So, we always, if we're going through something, we put it in there. We make time out immediately to meet up with each other, have a drink, go out somewhere, have fun. And one thing, we don't judge. We listen to each other without judging each other because sometimes when you're young, you do the worst, but then you still feel comfortable going into your safe space and you tell them, you know what, I did something and whatever. They'll be mad at you, but you're going to accept and try your best not to repeat whatever you did. So my tiny circle, I'm very happy and God bless me with those friends. So this is how we support each other. We have each other's back and we're always being truthful. Even if whatever they tell me will hurt me, maybe I do not want to hear it because that's not what I want to hear, but I will still listen at the end of the day. So that's how I deal with my peers and my friends.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Yvette. And it just brought to mind my circumstances too, because I'm very, very big on friendship and trust. I keep my circle very small. And, it's like that peer relationship as you get older, you realize, the importance of it. And as you said, going out, maybe having a little socializing, going out for a meal, having a cup of tea or drink, and just making that time to socialize with your friends. It's really so important. And it's something that's becoming more and more important to me. And it's something that it's a goal I've set, in the sense of, I need to probably set it as a SMART goal, so I can stick with it more. But to have more interaction with my peers, with the few people that I consider that, I have their back and they have mine. And to be a little more interactive and a bit more open. Because sometimes, we get locked in so much with what's going on in our life and, that we have the whole world of problems. And we don't realize that, other people are going to stop as well. And that if we interact and share and communicate, it really helps to take that burden off of you. And we need that downtime. We need that time to de-stress. If it's just to meet up a friend, to go to the mall, have an ice cream, watch a movie if you do that, have a meal, things like that. It really does help. And that's something that I purpose, that to do more. So I want you guys to keep me accountable to that, right? That to do more interaction with my peers and more downtime, and socializing. Yeah.
For sure,
For them. Yes. Please, Aralia. I'm putting you in charge of that, right? All right. So anybody else before we close off wants to talk about, how they support their friends and how their friends support them and what we can put in place to be more supportive and empathetic towards each other in order to have a balanced life, a fruitful and successful life? Now it's time.
I would say for me, my circle is small as well. Basically, all my friends, including myself, have extremely busy lives. And what we do, we try to check in every week. So yes, we have a group chat and also do it via our personal chats. We check in. Sometimes we help each other with our work, our tasks, and we even in where we help could be like with research. It could be doing a part of what it is they have to do to kind of ease off the load. Um, but this is what we agreed on in terms of what's going on with our pay group. It's a lot of work in the process, and we thought that'd be best to have support each other, because while doing that, the other aspects of support comes in, the emotional, the spiritual, and whatnot. It uplifts those other areas, So we found that makes sense, and so far we've been consistent with those check-ins. With the in-person check-ins, no, not at all.
Yes, in person, we need to really back up on the in person. I'm guilty of that. And we need to meet more in person and have that social, interaction. Right. So I know these ladies, they have that interaction in school. I guess they maybe meet up sometimes outside of school, but it's always good to have that face to face, because everything's online now and, via phone, etc. But that interaction, you can't beat that actual person, in person interaction. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So we need to do more of that. Yeah. Yes, ladies. So anybody else before we wrap up? Anybody else? All right. So Aralia, you just do like a little mental health check-in with everybody, see how they're feeling. And I will be back with you guys as we wrap up in the next couple of minutes.
Sure, miss. All right, ladies. How is everyone doing this week? We want to facilitate the chat in the Zoom. If you can put some emojis, some words, or reactions on your Zoom. Right now, I'm feeling at ease. I'm feeling happy. As I would have, got through my tough week last week with my tasks and whatnot. I have another busy week coming up. So I'm going to put like what you call it? I don't know what you call this emoji. I'm going to put it in the chat. You know the name of this emoji? I call it the calm face. So y'all can put something in the chat. Clarice, Cerise, Shanika, Jane, Marilee. Ooh, Marilee, I like that. Wonderful. Tahiri, Ayana, Janae. Janae's all smiles. Tahiri's doing good. Lovely. How are y'all, Clarice and Cherise? All smiles for Clarice and Cherise. Loving that. Jane, what about yourself? Jane, you with us? Just a quick check-in. An emoji. A word. Aha. Jane Percy salutes. We are on board this week. I love that, ladies. And how was the session today? Was it helpful? Do you all know how to set goals now? 'Cause that's one of the activities on the worksheet that we have for you coming up this week to help guide you set your goals. There's a little table with a step by step Yeah, so I think Miss, we can wrap up. Everybody checked in. Seems to be on a good note. Shanaga got bumped off. The internet is giving a little trouble.
All right, ladies. So, for the mental health check-in going, the smiley
There is
faces.
something to really get note.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, smiley faces,
Smiley
more
faces.
faces.
Yeah.
What stood out to you all the most for this session? You get a mini chat, you can unmute your mic. Let us know what stood out to you and maybe how we can improve these sessions. If you all have any feedback, was it interactive? Was it too interactive? Did you feel like you were being put on the spot? It was just right to hear you says. Janae says the session was awesome. And yes, she just wish the internet wouldn't be a pain in the neck. Yes, actually, the connection on the internet seems to be an issue today, especially the number of persons are having challenges. It can be the weather too. Right now, it's like stormy outside. So, the weather tends to affect the internet connection. And seeing that most of us are in the Caribbean will be affected by these weather conditions. So it's very possible that that is the cause of it. But we just have to work around it, find a way to make it happen. As that was part of our workshop this week, the motto for that workshop was figure it out. Find a way to make it work. Ask for the support. As you know, we have the sessions recording on the Zoom. James said it was amazingly awesome. Thanks for that feedback, Jean. I appreciate it. And a reminder for you girls to send your feedback on your WhatsApp. Send a voice note. You can use your voice recorder on your phone and send it to me. You can feel free to ask me a question, many questions. Talk to me about anything. You all have my number on the chat. You can feel free. Even what you want to say, you may not know what you want to say. You can ask me for suggestions. If you're feeling scared, to help comfort you, different things like that. It's okay. I'm all available and I try to answer as quickly as possible. So no worries with that. I'm happy that most of you enjoyed the session, if not everyone. And for me too, it was very informative, especially like with the goal setting. That accountability aspect is key for me to practice or whatnot. And over the next couple of days, we're going to be putting out content to help guide you all. So look out for that. We have some things lined up.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Aralia. I think this lady's so quiet. It's okay. I know it's lunchtime now, but yeah. So we're closing off. All right. So don't forget the testimonies, ladies. Send in your video clips, send in your voice notes, right? On the chat. And tell us how the program has been impacting you guys. Shrinika actually has some bad internet issues. She's trying to join back. She's unable to join. But I would just like to thank everyone for joining in today. We thank Camille. She had to go off to do one of her sessions for her input today. All our partners, we thank Ricardo, we thank our volunteers and interns, and you young ladies, and all our partners from all over the Caribbean and all over the world who have supported us and our sponsor, Unitrust Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, and Bouncy Mania, who have contributed 5 tickets. We thank them for partnering with us today throughout this process and for sponsoring. And we would like to give out our last Bouncy Mania ticket, which would go to the person is not here. They having connection issues. They get dropped off. And that is Shanika Ramki soon. Right?
Wow.
I just want to thank her, for, opening up and for sharing her experience and that kind of stuff with us. And we've given out the tickets based on many different criteria over the past few weeks. We just want to thank you, young ladies, all of you who have gone already and who haven't gone as yet. Share your experiences with us, your video clips and your photos, so we can share it with our sponsor, Bouncy Mania, and thank them for, their contribution. We have until the 30th to utilize that. When they close up on the 30th of this month, they're now in the Makoya area. Okay? So, Shanika Ramkisoon is our last winner for the Bouncy Mania tickets, right, guys? All right. Right, guys. So, thank you very much for joining. And Aralia will play our closing song. See you next week. We're going to have a phenomenal time next week, guys. Log on early. We're going to start on time. The card's going to be there. It's our closing session. And then we have one session per month, September, October, November, and then December the 6th is our graduation. We'll have our partners from the US coming in and from the Caribbean. We're going to have a wonderful time. We're going to have some field trips leading up to that. It's going to be an amazing time. Right, guys? So looking forward to seeing you guys there. Start thinking about what you're going to be doing for the cultural showcase, whether you're going to be singing a song, doing a poem, doing a dance. Okay? So start, thinking about the things, and we're going to be planning throughout a few months. We would like to do like a drama piece. I'm sure some of you are studying drama in school. So we want to do something to do with mental health, advocacy, showcasing how you be empathetic and considerate towards your peers, and how you would deal with situations when persons are struggling. Okay, so we're going to definitely be doing a drama production. So you all start thinking, and maybe messaging in the chat and asking who's going to be doing what and putting your ideas together. Okay?
I have a
Yeah.
question. Do you have a date in particular as to when the activities are starting? That's in December.
The third. Yeah, the third. But the 6th is graduation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's it right after?
If
The
that,
graduation is the final thing?
yes, the graduation is the final thing. Then we'll have a couple of things like the Sunday and the Monday. Well, our partners will be here, but you'll be here as well, Yvette. So yeah. But the graduation is that first few days. In December from the 3rd to about the 8th, we'll be having a number of different activities showcasing our culture here in Trinidad and the graduation.
Okay, thank you.
So you can book your time off, right, Yvette?
I sure will.
Nice. All right. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I will see you next week. Please, alone.